Coalition-12 for the Object 279E. We have to spot or track 7 tanks that our team kills within 10 battles. And if we want to get this done for honors, we need to complete the secondary, which is do 10 spotting or tracking of tanks that our team kills. You have to be the sole spotter or tracker for this. I had one instance where I tracked somebody else tracked them, didn't get credit for the kills, so just be aware of that. Same is true for spotting. You can't share spotting on this. It's actually pretty easy to get done, particularly if you have a light tank. I chose the AMX 13105 simply because this is the light tank that I have in the Coalition. In fact, I don't have any non-tier 10s. This is actually pretty good for this because you do have a 3-round clip, so if you need to track, you can. It does have good view range as well. It's not top in terms of light tanks, but it is good, and it has amazing camouflage. The downside to this is it's a long clip reload time, so you got a little bit of downtime, particularly if you're not in a spotting position and you're forced to track. It's also pretty sluggish on acceleration, so it's not the top speed that hurts this tank, it's the acceleration that does. And of course, this is not the meta right now. We'll talk about that in just a second when we talk about alternative tanks. I would recommend that you put the coated optics on this tank. If you have binocs on, take them off. You're not going to use the binocs really for this mission, even on maps like Perkrovka or Malinovka that are good for spotting. Use the coated optics. The other thing that I did, and it's not crucial to do, is I ran food because if you need 2 repair kits, it probably means you got tracked twice and you're dead anyways because you have less than 600 HP, I think. So food is probably more useful. Now, alternatives, clearly the EBR, that is the light tank meta right now. Honestly, if you have 8, 9, or 10, it doesn't really matter. I think this is easier to do at lower tier simply because the health pool of the enemy tanks is going to be lower. If you spot somebody and they take 2 or 3 shots, there's a good chance they're going to be dead, where at tier 10 they have so much health that's probably not the case. And also the bat chat line. But you can really do this in any tank. It's just a question of how much you're going to have to do with spotting versus how much you're going to have to do with tracking tanks. So decide what's right for you. This is easy to get done. So let's talk about some matches here. So it only took 1 attempt to get this done, and the first attempt I started off very passive. Or the first match I started off very passive, and I highly recommend you do this as well. Really what you're trying to do here is just let the map develop, figure out where people are, let the combat start, let the HP on your enemy tanks start to drain down. That's what you want to see, right? Plus, if something like that EBR were to rush me sort of as I was amongst other tanks, that becomes a really, really difficult situation to deal with. So I let the map develop a little bit. Not a lot of dead tanks in the enemy team, but I have a good sense of where most of the tanks are, and so I'm going to rush in. I think the best thing for me to do is go after Artie in this case and hope that somebody kills them. So I do exactly that. Now, it's kind of interesting here because at some point I lit a Progetto, not that I was aware that I lit him, but somebody killed him and I got credit, and that's going to happen. Now, the other thing you'll see me do right there is I shot that artillery once, and what I'm trying to do is put him in 1-shot range for, say, our Artie, for example. That burned me a bit right here because I accidentally 1-shot that artillery, which, it's just a scenario that you're going to have to deal with. Now, I couldn't get our artillery to shoot at their artillery, unfortunately, so I had to go off, do a little bit of combat, and then come back to this, and our Artie was ready to go, so that worked out right there. And so now I have 2 of the 7 I need to complete this. We're still going in the first match, so we're in absolutely good shape. You can see how easy this is. There's 2 tanks left. I want to see if I can get at least one of them. It would have been nice if I could have gotten 2 here, but I just didn't work out. I was able to light up this T-30. He was far enough for anybody else. He was low enough. My team was where they needed to be to kill him, and then I tried to track this AMX down below, but I just couldn't get the tracking shot before the enemy or before my team killed him. Now, on the second match, I got 1 additional kill, but on the third match here, this is a prime example of why it's easier to do this while you're platooning. So I rushed into the back of their line because I just wasn't having a good match. Things weren't working out, and I knew there was 3 Artie back here, so I went and lit them up. Unfortunately, I got just obliterated by one of their Artie, and there was nobody around to take care of it. So platoon if you can. By the sixth match, I was just 2 away. You saw me get another kill there, or kill here. For whatever reason, I didn't think I spotted anybody, but I did. And I wanted to clear out this light tank, so I actively went to kill him so I could move up in the middle. But this is an example of the awareness that you're going to have. I'm trying to get people to shoot that FV because he's a one-shot. But this medium tank comes up on me, and I know that my team on the hill has shots on him. And so the worst thing would be for that medium tank to push down into this valley that I'm in and take away those shots from my team. So I just pushed straight into him and basically suicide to stop him from coming down. And it killed me, but I got the credit for the kill, so that's all I was worried about. And that completed the mission. So I just needed 2 more at this point on the 9th battle to get this done with honors. And basically I just, after a minute or 2 of being passive, my team stormed one side of this map and cleared most of it out. Then I decided to just push up into the back line, see what I could spot, and maybe get the last 2 kills. I wasn't terribly worried about getting it done with honors, but I knew that it was going to be pretty easy to do, and that's exactly what happened. So this is in my opinion, this is a really, really easy one to get done. And if you are a light tank player, you're probably going to get this done with honors in 3 battles, maybe 4 battles. So it's a pretty easy one to do. So a couple tips to get this done. If you're going to trade HP, do it for guaranteed you are going to get credit for that kill in terms of the mission only. That's it. Do not trade your HP for really anything else. If you do intend to shoot tanks, make sure that they are above your alpha on your gun, and that those tanks are going to be in basically one-shot range for your teammate to kill. That's really the goal there. And obviously, towards the end of the match, Artie is a great target. Be aware of anybody else, like other EBRs in the match that would be headed for Artie as well. You need to be the first one there. You need to spot them. You need to make sure that there's someone either in line to shoot them, or that your artillery is ready to go to get the kill as well. And for that reason, I really think you should do this in a platoon. It just makes it much easier. Bring an artillery and then probably a medium tank that you know is going to hang back. He knows the lines to where you're going to be. He's not going to take the spotting damage from you and whatnot. Just make sure that they're aware of what you need to do for the mission, and you should be good to go. So that is Coalition 12, guys. It's a pretty easy one. Hope this helped, and I will see you on the next one.